It almost seems like some of these cats are implants to divide the nation of Israel.
Keep it separated,
that's exactly
right.
how it feels. Because when we all come in, we're all taught a certain basic understanding. And we're taught Zephaniah 2:1. Gather together.
Yeah.
Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Right. They want to go into the 7 heads and the 10 horns. Right. They want to bring out books, all these other books.
Right.
And like we don't have them up here now. We always go into every show and we tell people, these books, we use these books, but they are not the basis of our foundation.
They're not the doctrine.
That's for other people to, historians or people that have problem with history. We bring those books out so they can go ahead and, get that extra meat.
Because they're still caught up on what camp they're with or what
right.
school they're following. Mm-hmm. Instead of just, this is about Christ in the first place. This is about the HaMashiach, the Messiah, whatever you want to say. This is about Israel gathered together. That's the milk that we're supposed to do. From Genesis chapter 49, verse 1 and 2, he says, gather yourselves together. That was Zephaniah 2:1. But Genesis 49, he says, gather together so I can tell you what's going to befall you in the last days.
Right.
This is about our nation coming back together.
Right.
But then it says that these babes are still coming with this mentality. That was the purpose of the teaching in the first place.
Yeah.
But not to now get so puffed up to where now it's just about, if you're not following us this way, then now you're not an Israelite or now you're off. To have that mentality, let's go to the scriptures, that's young.
We have to understand, we don't know anything. 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 If it's not about love, if it's not about charity, if it's not about washing your brother's feet, not spitting on your brother, trying to fight with your brother. There you go.
Banging because they come from this block and you come from that block. You banging because he's from GOCC and you're from ISUPK, or you know what I mean? You're from GNS.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're from GNS
right.
and you're from this different schools of knowledge. When what are we arguing about? If you're from a school of knowledge and I'm from a school of knowledge, we ought to be adding to each other, right?
There you go.
And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation.
Is that what's going on right now?
Bring it out.
For Israel as a whole? Is that what's going on? Are we still battling amongst ourselves?
Bring it out.
We still camp banging and bearing hatred and variance and all kind of turmoil and defiled bread being passed around the nation.
Bring it up.
Still camp banging and bearing hatred and variance and all kind of turmoil and defiled bread being passed around the nation.
Bring it up.
Read.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua Bahashem, Recha HaQuadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors also to you other brethren, you followers of the truth, and shalom to the elect. Anyway, I want to go in this video I've seen a couple of these pop up. Sometimes things pop up and I'll just through the spirit go with it. This thing about camp banging, I'm just going to jump right into it. I got some precepts. And should we camp bang? First of all, we got to understand what camp banging is. Camp banging is the situation, and I'm gonna keep it spiritual. I'm not speaking of hatred or anything of that nature. When I first came into truth, I was fired up and ready just to defend the doctrine. So, if you could call it that. But camp banging is when you're on a corner, or you got a particular spot, and then somebody comes up from another camp and tell the people or the brothers that they don't belong there. This is our spot. We're taking over the spot. Disrespectfully, that's what you would call camp banging. Anything that doesn't have anything to do with the edification and the building of the body is camp banging. Now, what we do, we will go into more so correcting the doctrine, and my ways was a little aggressive at times, and GMS, Great Millstone, we've been aggressive at times, and it's because they throw the stones, right? And so in our manner of defense, we're still men, so we're going to defend ourselves. So when you have a group telling other groups that look out for these guys, they're nothing but rapists and they teach the rape. And I received I did a video on that, and somebody said there's plenty of videos with y'all out there teaching rape. And I said, well, show it to us, and I would like to see it, to review it. Well, I never got an answer back. This group IUIC and IHBK, they said we were rapists of 6-year-olds. I know IUIC did that. So when they got nothing else, then they come back with the slander and the talk, and that's camp banging. And it's because of doctrine, and it's because we defend the doctrine. And at the end of the day, everybody can believe that they have the correct doctrine, and we'll just see. But what you should be doing is standing up and defending your doctrine. But to come off and call us rapists is because we're telling you going off on the MOTB, which we say is the mark, okay, and a few other things. They, most of the One West camps are in sync with some doctrine, but a little leaven of the whole lump. Right? Let's go to Matthew 13. This is when Yahushua did the parable of the sower, right? I'm not going to read the whole thing. When it talks about he went into the ship and the multitudes came up and he broke down the sower, and some fell on stony ground, some fell on stony places, some amongst the thorns and the scorched or whatever. But then when you go to the 10th verse, he said, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them it is not given. So this is why he had this parable. Because you're going to have a lot of Israelites that's going to wake up, but some are going to fall to temptations of the riches of the world. Some going to fall by their women. Some going to fall by other philosophies. Some going to burn out. You're going to have various other things in place. That's why he said narrow is the way. That a lot of people, a lot of brothers and sisters, or people that's into the truth, that is not of the elect. This is why we speak of the elect. Right? It's just clear. I see them read the scriptures, gather thyself together, O nation not desired. Yeah. The elect of the nation of Israel. That's scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Right? So this guy said, about the truth, you should be striving for the truth. John 16:13 or so says, when the spirit of truth is come in, he shall guide you into all truth. That's why we say we have the 100% knowing of the Bible. Right? You ask us anything. When we stand out there on them hedges, you ask us anything, we're going to go in the Bible and cipher it, filter it right through the scriptures. Right? We're talented enough to do that, and that's the spirit. We're not boasting. And there's some other brothers in other camps that are able to do certain things like that. But when you go off on doctrine, we're going to correct you. Let's go to Jude. Jude 1. It's real easy to go through this, but, just for edification. Jude 1 and 3. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of a coming salvation. So what he's speaking to the Israelites, okay? And there's only going to be certain ones to get it. That's why in Matthew 7, many shall say, Lord, Lord. Then he'll say, I never knew you. This is what it is. There's going to be Israelites that's not going to make it. There's going to be Israelites that's going to cause division, right? Which you will get to that too. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful to me to write unto you that you and exhort you that ye should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints, right? The elect, the Israelites. So, what does contend mean? It doesn't say much in the blue letter. So here I go to the Merriam-Webster. It says contend is to strive via contest, a rivalry of against difficulties, to struggle. So I looked up the word struggle, right? And it goes to the word argue, right? To give, well, let me go back. To struggle means what? Yeah, to strive to argue, right? So we go to argue, to give reasons against something, a reason, to contend, to disagree, in words, to dispute, to give evidence, to indicate, right? Basically, to dispute. Then when you go into the word dispute, it means to engage in an argument, to debate, to argue irritably or with irritating persistence, right? That's what it is. So when you got these unity camps and everybody's sitting together, and then one says what John was mentioning in Revelation, the 13th chapter of the MOTB, it's not what it is, and some say it's nations, and some say it's Christianity, and some say it's that. So you have these unity camps. So we up and having a unity camp, and somebody comes up and say, hey, what is that Revelation 13:17 talking about? And you say, well, one person say this, one person say that. Now Amos 3, I believe, and 3 says, can two walk together unless they be agreed? Because you know what they're going to say? Well, we're still learning this, and everybody have their different beliefs on that, but look, that's not about salvation. This is what they'll say. We'll let the Lord handle all of that. Well, don't you think the Lord uses men to handle these things, to bring out the words? Don't he use the prophets to tell you the truth? That's why Paul said, have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? So you had what you call camp banging back then, when he was running from dealing with other Israelites, Yahushua dealing with other Israelites. What do you guys think this is, man? There was other groups coming against Yahushua, coming against Apostle Paul, the prophets. What do you think this is? I know we just learning our heritage, a lot of us coming in together, but a lot of you still bringing that Christian way on in the truth. And we're not to do that. We are men. Now, some of you are thugs and gangbangers bringing that in the truth. That's different. We're not to do that either. Romans 16:17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. Now it's interesting. I went into this word contrary. Contrary. It says the movable stick or trigger, or a trap stick, a snare, an impediment, impediment placed in the way and causes one to stumble or fall, right? This is what we talked about the Revelation 13. The stumble block, occasions of stumbling, i.e. rock, which is cause of to stumble. Applied to Yahushua, whose person and career was so contrary to the expectation of the Jews concerning the Messiah, that they were they rejected him, and by their obstinacy made shipwreck for their salvation. Right? So it goes both ways. This truth is a snare and a trap to a lot of Jake. But then Jake put snares and traps in place. Right? All because they want to be the top group. This group, One Body Yahushua, you know what they teach? Yahushua never worked miracles. The scriptures speak about keep no fellowship with the wicked counsels, man. Why would we want to hang with these guys? What are we going to discuss? Understand that man's goings of the Lord set all this up, man. So there's no getting around that. This is pretty much what the Lord have set up and in place, right? In fact, we'll get that. Let's go to Ephesians 5 and 6. Let no man deceive you with vain words, because of these things cometh the wrath of Yahweh upon the children of disobedience. It says, be not ye therefore partakers with them, right? So this is talking about other Israelites. For ye were some, there's groups that said Apostle Paul, these things he's saying wasn't legitimate. For ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. Walk as children of the light, right? For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth. Now, I believe Isaiah 8:20 or 21, to the law of testimony, if it's not according to this word, it's because there's no light in them. So there's people in place. There's men and women in place that's going to come with doctrines, and they're going to make up their own doctrines, and there's no light in them, right? So yes, again, we're not here to gangbang, but we'll get on. I'm gonna get to the point I wanted to get to, the whole message. Proving what is acceptable unto the Lord, and having no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. So now we got to go into this word reprove. What does this word reprove actually means? G1651. Let's see what it means. To convict, refute, generally with a suggestion of to shame of the person convicted, right? So this is the same example of nobody wants to take rebukes. These camps will not accept that because they set up a ranking order. They set up their own doctrine. And then somebody from another camp, brothers from another camp, come in and try to correct them on this doctrine. And they become offended, right? They become very offended because they feel that you're stepping on their territory, and that's the camp banging, right? Not wanting to be corrected makes you the actual camp banger, because you, in your mind, this is my set, this is my turf. How dare you come in here and tell us about the mark? This is not what it is, right? Which throws you off, right? So the word shame goes to a painful emotion caused by conscience or guilt. So these people don't have guilt when we correct them. Are we doing anything wrong? No. We said to reprove them. We're here to defend the doctrine, to contend for the faith. We're here to defend the words of the Most High. We're here to defend Yahweh Yahawashah. We're here to defend the words of the Most High, the Spirit of the Lord, all that's set up in place. That's what we're here to do. It's not a personal matter. When there's a group that says all the Israelites are only black, and they got a 12 tribes chart with all women, Leah, Rachel, nah, we're going to mark them that cause divisions contrary to the doctrine. Anyway, I hope this lesson was edifying. There's no way that we can, you can't drink of the cup of the Lord and cup of devils. You can't be able to partake of at the Lord's table and the table of devils in 1 Corinthians, I think 10 say. Right? It's all about the elect. This is not about the gathering of the whole nation of Israel. But the scriptures point that out because the old nation is really talking about the elect. That's why Isaiah 11:11 says he will gather his elect from the four winds of the earth. Why does it say elect? Why does it say remnant? Because that's what it's all about, man. Anyway, I hope this lesson was edifying. That's all I have on that. Shalom.